All right, everybody. We're going to get started here in just a moment with the Broker's Hour. Thank y'all for joining us. Give me just a second to get everything set up, and we will get started right as soon as we get everything all set up. Okay, let me share this on Facebook real quick. Y'all give me a second. Go to YouTube and share this on Facebook real quick. We're gonna get started with today's training. Y'all give me just a moment, and we're gonna go ahead and get started. Sharing this on Facebook. Make one more share, and we'll be. All right, let me go ahead and start my recording, and we will get started. And we will. Well, we got about 10 minutes, so we're not gonna start just yet. We got about 10 minutes. We know some people to join in, but I hope y'all had a great week. Mine was absolutely wonderful. So y'all give me a moment. Let me run over some stuff here again real quick. All righty. Got about 5 minutes before we get started. We'll get started here in about 5 minutes. Y'all forgive me, I'm sharing some stuff on Facebook about the meeting. And then we're gonna go ahead and get started. All right, let's go ahead and get ready to kick this off. Y'all give me just 1 second here, and let me start my recording. All right, good Saturday morning, everyone. How's everybody doing today? I hope y'all had a great week. I had an absolute great week. So hope y'all had a great week. Hope y'all booked some freight. The load board report that we're doing every weekday morning is turning out to be, a big success. We're having people log on. People are watching. People are giving us the calls, afterwards and everything. We're giving away free freight, Monday through Fridays from 6 a.m. till 7 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. So that's what we have with that going on, the load board report. And of course, every Monday night, we have our franchise training that is starting to pick up too. People are starting to realize that you can make money with our platform. And on Thursday nights, we have dispatch training. We had our revamped dispatch training starting on Thursday nights from 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time until 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And of course, every Saturday, we have the Brokers Hour. This is where we have content strictly for those of you who want to become brokers or those of you who are brokers. Now, my name is Calvin Butler. As always, I'm your host for the Brokers Hour, and this is sponsored by the RBBS Logistics Learning Centers and the National Dispatchers Network, where we provide tools, resources, training, support for those of you out there who are wanting to learn this business, either as a dispatcher or as a freight brokerage firm. We provide we provide access to more than 100 load boards, so you don't have to pay for load boards. We also provide access to more than 19 million shippers, so you don't have to pay for any type of shippers list. And we provide access to 140,000 plus hours of live recorded operational training videos. Come on, how can it get any better than that? But anyway, let's get started. Now, this week, we're going to be talking about where we left off last week. Last week, we left y'all with a cliffhanger, so to speak. And what we left y'all with was one of the age-old questions, probably one of the greatest, scientific mysteries. It relates to one of the greatest scientific mysteries of all time. Which came first, the chicken or the egg? So we left y'all with last week was which comes first, shippers or carriers to run the load? Because as a broker, you need both. As a broker, you need both. You need both shippers to be able to have loads to make money. Because if you don't have ownership of freight, then you're useless as a broker. You can't really make money. But at the same time, you need carriers to run that freight. So if you don't have carriers or access to carriers to run that freight, then you're equally dead in the water. Now, some of you are probably saying, well, Calvin, if I get the loads first, I can always just post my loads on load boards and carriers will look at it and then they will come. That's true. But in order to get the loads first, you have to convince the shipper, okay, you have to convince the shipper that you are going to be able to move those loads. And what is the best way to convince shippers that you can move the loads? You have to show them that you have access to carriers, that you have carriers under contract. Trust me, it's going to be very difficult for you to go out there and land shippers, which a lot of you are finding out as first-year brokers. You're finding out that it's next to impossible to get shippers to sign on with you. First of all, if you're new, okay, you don't have any seasoning, in your bond. We talked about that last week on how you can get that. If you don't have your references, last week we talked about that. If you don't have, money in the bank, your financials, a couple $100,000 laying around to show that you can prepay for freight if you need to. You don't have that. If you don't have that stuff, how are you going to convince a shipper that you are the brokerage firm that can move their loads? Okay? Because as a broker, you got to take ownership of freight. Now, if you don't have freight, it's kind of hard to make money as a broker. Now, one of the best ways to convince a shipper that you can move their freight is to prove to them that you have carriers under contract. Now, the question is, which comes first? Okay? Now, the answer is both. You do them both at the same time. Now, you're probably saying, well, Calvin, how do I get both at the same time? Okay, look, here's the problem. What traditionally the problem has been this, okay? Over the years, brokers have been taught, and they've been doing it, they've been taught the binary system, okay? Just a structured binary system where you go out and you get all your bonds and all that stuff, and then you become a brokerage firm, right? And then you hire a freight broker agent to basically work your business, okay? Now, in doing so, either you, the broker, or the freight broker agent, you're both doing the same thing, or you're both doing all the work. Freight broker agent, most of the time, has got to go out there and find shippers, okay? You got to convince shippers to give you ownership of freight. Then you got to find carriers to move that freight. Now, most brokerage firms will pay their freight broker agents, let's say, they're keeping, probably about 30%, but they're paying out 70% to the freight broker agent. It's a 70-30 split, okay, of their brokerage fee or something like that, or a 60-40 split, or whatever case may be. They're paying out. That's what they're normally doing. They're either paying. Now, some freight brokerage firms, a lot of freight brokerage firms, they pay their agents less, and then they keep more. They pay the freight broker agent the 30%, they keep the 70%, right? Or they pay the freight broker agent, 25% or 40%, and they keep the 6%. Now, but either way, you got to do all the work. You got to find both. You got to find both the shippers. You got to sign up the shippers, and after that, you got to find carriers to run the freight. Okay. What if there's a way that you can make more money and have your people do less work? That's the big question, right? If you can make more money and have your people do less work, wouldn't that be something great? All right, let me show y'all something. This is how I started my freight brokerage firm, okay? I'm gonna show you what I did. Let me start sharing my screen here with you all, so y'all can take a look at this. All right, what you're seeing here, I hope y'all can see this. I'm gonna increase this up to the full screen so y'all can see it. All right, there we go. All right, what you're seeing here is the structure of my freight brokerage firm that I set up, like in 2016, 2017, okay, a while back when I started out. And we became very successful. Why? Because we created instead of a binary system, we created a trilogy, like a tri-system, okay, where we had us, the freight brokerage firm, that's us. We took care of all the paperwork, all that type of stuff, processing, payroll, all that type of stuff. That's what we took care of as the brokerage firm. And we hired 2 sets of agents, okay? The first set of agents that we hired logistics sales executives, okay? We didn't hire freight agents to just do the whole thing. We hired 2 sets. We hired logistics sales executives, and we hired certified freight agents, okay? Now, the sales executives, their only job was to go out and get shippers, sign on shippers. That's their only job, was to contact shippers and convince shippers to sign up with us and give us ownership of freight. That's their only job. Now, the certified freight agents, their only job was to book loads with the carriers. The freight that the sales executives contracted, they would move those loads and down to here, right? And these agents would then book those loads out to carriers that they have signed on. Now, I did say that I was going to show you how you can pay your people more by having them to do less. Didn't I say that? Okay, let's take a look at this. A lot of you saying, well, Calvin, you got 2 sales employees, how are you paying them? And is that going to leave any money for you, the brokerage firm? I'm going to show you how everybody makes money in this structure, okay? I'm going to show you how everybody makes money in this structure. Y'all give me a second here to make sure I got people in. Participants. All right, yep. We got everybody in that wants to be in right now. All right, I'm going to show you how everybody in this scenario makes money, okay? First of all, what are we paying the sales executive? We are paying them 7.25% residual of our brokerage fee. So they get 7.25% of our broker's fees. Now, our broker's fee, most brokers, what they keep on the deal is anywhere between 27 and 35%. I know a lot of people think that brokers keep 50% and they take half the money. They take 6% of the money. No, they don't. The most the broker's going to make is about 35% at the very top, 35% of the load fee of what they're getting from the shipper. That's not what they're posting. I'm talking about they're getting 35% of what the shipper is paying on that load. Because the broker would go out and they'll contract with the shipper, and a small shipper would give them like the loads that we had. We had loads coming from a lumber company up in Tampa that we were getting, a very small shipper that we was getting out of Tampa, and the loads that we were getting anywhere from 80 loads, each morning, and then we get another set of loads that afternoon, about 60 or 70 loads. So we was on average getting anywhere from 150 to 250, sometimes 300 loads per day. That's a small shipper. So let's deal with the small shipper. Now, there are shippers out there that you go to and you'll get 1,000 loads, because we had shippers like that too that were sending us over, a couple thousand loads per day. Okay, I'm talking about serious freight. But let's deal with the small shipper. Let's show you how this type of setup, working with a very small shipper, can get you a lot of money for everybody involved. So we're paying the logistics sales executive 7.25% residual on the accounts that they bring in. Okay, and we are paying the certified freight agents. What we were doing with that, we were paying the certified freight agents 50% of the broker's fee. Okay, now if the broker's fee is, let's say, 33%, okay, that's your broker's fee. If the shipper is paying, let's say, $2,400 on a load, the broker is going to keep 33% of that, and he's going to pay the carrier somewhere in the neighborhood, where he's going to post somewhere in the neighborhood of $1,680 and $1,700, for the load. And that's generally a load that's running about 760 miles or whatever it may be. So that's a decent pay. That's a decent load. Okay. The carrier is getting like $1,600 to $1,800. The broker is keeping 33%. So that's going to be about $720 is what the broker is keeping out of that. Now, out of that $720 is how you're going to pay your people. And I'm going to show you how this is much easier done. Now, remember, all your logistics sales executives are doing, their only task is to go out and contact shippers. Now, how does this happen? Okay, let's shrink this back down, and let's go to the calculator. Well, first of all, let's go to our back office site, because I need to show y'all how we provide tools and resources that will help you to find shippers, okay? Because we actually provide you access. People who join our platform, we give them access to more than 19 million plus shippers, okay? So as a broker, if you're out there, you're paying for shippers list, $500, $2,500 per list, you might benefit from joining our platform, okay? This is just one of the ways we save you money, because that's what our platform is mostly about, Yes, we do training like we're doing now. Yes, we provide other tools and resources, but primarily what we do is we save you all money. If you're in the business, we save you money. Dispatchers will save you money by providing you access to more than 100 load boards. Shippers will save you money because we provide you access to more than 19 million plus shippers. And on top of that, you're in a network full of dispatchers, so you're getting a free service from the dispatchers on them helping to provide you with trucks. And and there's a host of other things that we provide that's going to save you money. All right, but let's look at the shipper thing here, just off rip. Okay, so if we're looking for shippers, if you're in our platform and you're looking for shippers, this is what we do to provide shippers. We're going to send you over to our Trucking Planet. Okay, we have an account with Trucking Planet, a lifetime membership with Trucking Planet. So we're going to jump on over to that real quick. Y'all give me just a second. Waiting for it to pull up. Trucking Planet. Let's go to our Trucking Planet link. All right. I think, let me log in real quick. All right, go to that Trucking Planet link. Now, if you're part of our platform and with our network, here's our shippers database. Okay, you got dry van shippers, 34,000 plus shippers. You got flatbed, step deck, hotshot shippers, 10,900 plus shippers. You got refrigerator shippers, 2,900 plus shippers. You got distributors and wholesalers, 27,000 plus. You got fresh food, agriculture, and horticulture shippers, 4,000 plus. You got importers and exporters, 5,000 plus. You got medical equipment manufacturers, 2,800 plus. You got 3PLs, commercial warehouses, 1,200 plus. And you got all review all freight rates requests. All right, let's go up and let's click on dry van shipper. Now, here's one of the great things you're going to notice about the shippers list that we get through Trucking Planet. Okay, you'll notice that when you click on this and you look at these shippers here, one thing you're going to notice is this. This is if you've ever cold called shippers, if you've ever bought a list with names and numbers on it, and you cold call shippers, you all would know that that the number you call, you're always going to get some type of person that's not the person that's making the decision, either a secretary or an assistant or somebody in that, whatever that whole operation. They don't even make the decisions as far as if they're going to sign you on and give you ownership of freight. You got to talk through them to try and get to. Hold on, let me check my waiting room here. I got people in the waiting room. You're going to have to talk through them to try and get them to get you to the person that's actually going to make the decision of getting you signed up, right? And that's a hassle by itself. So chances are you never really get to the person that makes that decision. But if you notice on this, every person you see here as a contact person, you would notice that these people, look at their titles. They have the authority to make the decisions. We're talking about presidents, vice presidents, owners. You go so far down, you'll see where it says the purchasing, the agent, the purchasing agent, purchasing manager and executive, the traffic coordinator. These are the people that make the decision. They don't have to confer with someone. They don't have to, well, let me see if I can get him on the phone, or let me see if I can put you in touch with him. Well, give me a call back later and I'll talk with him and see if he's interested. When you call up and you get these people, this is the person you're talking to. Here's the name of the person. Here's their title, the owner, or whatever it is. Here is their phone number. And here is their personal email address. Every last one of them is a personal email address to the person who is in charge of making that decision. So that's the first thing you're going to notice when you pull up our shipper locator, okay? Now, second thing you're going to notice, it's going to tell you what they're doing in sales volume. 2.5 to 5 million, 1 to 2.5 million, 5 to 10 million, 1 to 2.5 million, and so on and so on and so on and so on and so on. So you know the volume of type of loads, or the volume or the sheer number of loads that they have available that they can give you ownership of, okay? These are great tools for a professional sales executive. Because remember, all this person is going to do is contact shippers. That's all they're going to do. They're not going to go out and try to find carriers. They're not going to pitch carriers. That's not their job. Their job is just to pitch the shippers. That's the only job, is to get us under contract, get you under contract with the shipper. This is why this is a better way to run your freight brokerage firm. Now, we did say that this person gets paid on residual. All right. Doesn't everybody like residual pay? I do. I'd rather get paid on residuals than to get paid a salary. Because residual is the gift that keeps on giving. You do the job once and you keep getting paid for it over and over and over and over and over again. Right? And with this situation, the more accounts you add, the higher your residual grows. Now, let's take a look at that. All right, let's take a look at that. In order to do that, let's go to a calculator. Now, remember, we said that we were going to talk about a small shipper. Let's talk about the shipper that we was getting loads from Tampa, a small lumber company out of Tampa, Florida, is where we was getting loads from. We was only getting about 150 to 250, 300 loads per day. That's small. That's small. Because there were shippers out there that we was getting 1,000, 5,000 loads per day. Okay. But let's say a small shipper, it only provides you. Let's say you as a sales executive, you go out and you sign up a small shipper that's only providing you with 150 loads per day. Let's cut it down to 150 loads per day. So if you got 150 loads that you're getting from that small shipper, and they're sending those over to you every morning. Okay. Now, out of that 150 loads, are you going to be able to? Is your company going to be able to book all 150 loads every day? Of course not. No. I don't care how good you are. You're not going to book all the loads. I don't care how much the loads are paying. If the loads are paying great money, $5, $6, $7, $8, $10 per mile, you're not going to book all 150 loads per day. It's just not possible. But is it possible for your company to book 10% of those loads per day? Okay. Now, at that point, when we first started out, we were doing it, we was booking on average about 37% of the loads that we was getting in per day. That's about average, somewhere between 25 and 35 or 40%. You know, that 37%, that's a little bit, on the higher average side, but it's not unheard of. Okay. On average, if you're doing your job right, you're gonna book, if the loads are paying decent, and the way that we worked out with that shipper, all the loads that they were sending us were more than $2.50 per mile. Can everybody please mute your mics? Please mute your mics. Please mute your mics. Please mute your mics. Get a lot of background noise. All right. But the loads that we were getting, they agreed to send us loads that paid a minimum of $2.50 per mile. And these were mostly all flatbed loads. Some of them were drive-in loads, but they were not refrigerated because these were lumber. This was lumber, no refrigerated. It was basically all flatbed and every now and then a couple of drive-in loads, but they all paid more than $2.50 per mile, okay, which was decent. So with that being said, at $2.50 per mile, getting 150 loads per day, what percentage of those loads do you all think is possible for a brokerage firm to book? Damon, Larissa, y'all have joined us. Give me off the top of your head what percentage of those loads you think is possible, conceivably speaking, for those, for a freight brokerage firm to book if they was getting those loads every single morning. Anybody want to chime in on that? Give me a percentage. I think I've got everybody muted. Let me see here. Well, let's just say 10%, since we don't have anybody that wants to chime in on that. But let's just say it's just a 10%. Let's not use the 37% that we were booking when we first started out, or even 25%, or even 20%. Let's say 15%. So if they're booking 15% of those loads, right, that's 15 loads per day. Okay, 15 loads per day is what they're going to book from that, cache of loads that they've gotten under contract. 15 loads per day at 10% of the loads that's booked. So that's going to be minus 15, minus 10%. It's going to give you 15 loads per day. Now, with that 15 loads per day, remember, we said that we were going to pay right? In this type of setup, you're gonna pay the sales agent 7.25% of your brokerage fee from the loads, from their accounts of the loads they got booked. What I mean by that is they have brought over 150 loads per day. Those loads get moved down to here. Let me show y'all what this does. Those loads from here, okay, they bring in 150 loads per day. They signed a contract with the shipper, got us on the contract, got you on the contract with that small shipper. That shipper sending you 150 loads per day on average. Sometimes more, sometimes a little bit less, but it averages out 150 loads per day. Those loads get moved down to here to where your booking agents or your certified freight agents are now going to find trucks to move those loads. Okay. If they're getting loads from up here every day that's paying $2.50 per mile, if you got another whole set of employees down here that are working on finding trucks, they should be able to book at least 10% of those loads. I mean, at least 10% of the load, 15 loads per day out of 150 loads. Very simple job. Now, because this person signed up that account, they only had to do that one time. They got the account under contract. Now those loads are coming over every single day, and every time a load is booked from their account, they are getting paid 7.25% of the broker's fee. Y'all see what's happening? They've just created residual income. They did the job once. And now every time one of their loads gets booked from their account, they're going to get paid for it. Now let's look and see what kind of money that is. Let's look and see what kind of money that is. If you got 15 loads that are being booked each day from the 150 loads that they sent down there, okay? On those accounts, the average load was running 762 miles. Let's look at that. Let's take a 762-mile run times $2.50. Because remember, all the loads that they were sending us over were no less than $2.50 per mile, right? Times $2.50 per mile. So that's going to come out to be $1,905 on average. Sometimes more, sometimes a little less, but $1,905. Now, be honest with you, the load that they were sending us up, the bottom line was $2.50, but on average, it was really close to $3 per mile. So really, it was about $2,600 on the load fees. But let's go with that $1,905, or let's split the difference, say it's $2,000, just to make our numbers work out evenly, so we can do the calculation. Because chances are, is the majority of the loads are going to be higher than that, so your averages are going to be higher than that. Okay, but the bottom line amount that we were getting was $2.50 per mile. That's very easy to negotiate with a shipper if you got someone who is their only job is to negotiate with shippers. Okay, so let's say you got those loads in and say those loads are paid. Well, you know what? We're gonna leave it at the $1,905. I'm not even gonna bump it up $2,000. We're gonna leave it at $1,905. Let's say $1,905. Okay, that's the load fee. Now, all right, that's the load fee. That's what we're getting from the shipper. Okay, $2.50 per mile from the shipper, whatever the case may be. All right, but let's say that because here's how a broker gets paid. Okay, here's how a broker gets paid. A broker is getting the difference between what the shipper is giving them, what they've negotiated with the shipper, and what they are paying the carrier for running the load. Because brokers take ownership of freight. Okay, they take ownership of freight. So they're gonna negotiate with the shipper. Okay, if the loads are paying $2.50 per mile, what's my spread? The shipper's okay, when you got that right there, the shipper says, I'll pay you 33%, above that right there. Or whatever case. That's how I negotiate it. Now, most people would negotiate like this. The way we train our people back then to negotiate, what most people would do is this. They contact the shipper. A shipper will tell you, yeah, I got, 150 loads, 200 loads a day that I can send you. And they're averaging, $2.50 per load. Now, or $3 per load, or whatever the case may be. Now, here's how most people would negotiate. Okay, that sounds good. So that means I'm gonna take 33% off that, and out of that $2.50, I'm gonna take 33%. So I'm gonna wind up, the load normally pays $1,900, so I'm gonna wind up paying the carrier $1,400. That sound about right? How everybody likes to do it. That sound about right. Darren, are you on here still?
Yeah, I just got back in.
Okay. Does that sound about right? How most brokerage firms would negotiate that deal?
Yeah.
All right. That's how most brokerage firms do. But let me tell you how I did it. When they gave me that $250, I said, okay, that's great, but what's my spread? And the shipper said, huh? Okay, you're saying that you're gonna pay $2.50 per mile on most of these loads on average, whatever. But I need a spread on that because I need to make money, right? I'm gonna help you move the load. So how much over that will you allow me to make? Will you give me to work with? See, I'm negotiating the opposite way. I'm not doing it from, okay, here's what you got. Then I take from that and give it to the carrier, and then I keep that. No. I taught my people how to negotiate and get their money from the shipper. Because why would you take the money from the carrier, right? You might as well just be a dispatcher and charge 10% and take 10% for finding the carrier load versus being a broker, right? And taking 33% from the carrier, right? Those are lazy brokers that do that. They're lazy. Okay, they don't want to negotiate. They got the game twisted. They're hustling backwards. That's not how you negotiate. How you negotiate, you do your job and you become good at your job and you get your money from the shipper, because that's how a broker is supposed to be paid. Remember, the Federal Motor Carrier Association and the statute, CFR 371 49.1 through 49.4 says that brokers have a bond and they have insurance because they take ownership of freight, and they are paid from the margin that they negotiate with the shipper. So why would you just take what the shipper is giving and then take your margin off of the owner operator side? Isn't that the opposite of what the statute allows brokers to do? Right there?
Right.
That's the opposite. So why would you operate that way? But that's the way 99.9% of all brokers operate, because they're lazy. Because why are they lazy? Because they got to do both the job of finding shippers and finding carriers. So they just figure it's easy to just take from the carrier and post a load. This is why owner operators get so upset with dealing with brokers. They think brokers are taking all their money. They're not taking all of it, but they are taking a good portion of it, 33% on average, and they're taking it from the carrier. They'll tell the carrier, oh, we get paid by the shipper. No, you're not getting paid by the shipper if you're doing it that way. You're getting paid by the shipper if you're doing it the way we were doing it. Okay? The way we did it. All right. So what we did was, when the shipper sold us that $2.50 per mile or $1,905, whatever, we were saying, okay, we're gonna need at least 35% margin. So that means we're gonna have to put 35% on top of that, will allow us to make at least 35% on there. And that's got to come from you. So that's our margin. Now, if we negotiate it down, if we need room to move, like we're trying to move a load and we're putting out the $1,905, which is what the shipper initially gave us, but we got 33% on top of that we can move on that. If we need to negotiate with the carrier and the carrier says, well, is that all you can do? Then I got room to do what? What, Darren? What do I have room to do now?
Offer the driver a certain amount of money.
Exactly. I can offer the driver more money in order to get the load moved. Now, you say to yourself, well, Calvin, how does that work out for everybody? It works out great, because then I'm letting the shipper know that way I can move more of their freight, because now I've already got a good deal at $2.50. But if I get a carrier that says, well, I don't know, I got another load over here that's paying. So, okay, well, let's see here. What if I offer you an extra, 25% or 10%? extra 10% on $1,900. That's an extra $190, right? Extra 10% on $2,000. That's an extra what? $200 right there.
Right.
Right. You don't think that's enough to sway a carrier? Okay, yeah, I'll take that load. And you still are making what? 23%, because you gave them an extra 10%. So you're still making 23% margin. Y'all see what's happening? That's why you want to hire a team of salespeople, sales executives, and that's all they do. So they become good at that. They become good at selling. They become good at negotiating with the shipper. They don't have to worry about trying to negotiate with the carrier, because that's what your agents are going to do. That's on the carrier end. Their job is to find carriers to move the freight. That salesperson, their sales executive job is to find the shippers and negotiate that margin so that we have a cushion that we can work with on offering carriers more money to enhance them to move the freight. Got something here in the chat. Someone says go up. Okay, go up how? I don't know what you're talking about. Go up. Yeah. Okay, yeah, I can go up on the money. Exactly. That's why we do it that way. Okay. Hold up real quick. Let me check my YouTube channel to see if we got anybody over there on our live YouTube. All right. Let me acknowledge people got on our live YouTube. Today we got Mr. Dan Vader. Hey, Dan, how you doing? We got Dr. Glock back. Nice to see you back, Dr. Glock. And we got Martin Green. All right. Dan says, can you tell me how you come up with your formula to price the loads the shippers give you? We just gave you the formula. Whatever the shipper comes at it, when we go to the shipper, because the shippers, they already have a price in mind. Shippers are like anybody else. They don't make this freight. They don't. They got it from somebody else. Right, Darren? Most of the time, shippers don't make freight. You have some shippers, like some lumber companies, whatever, that might actually, do their own, produce their own freight. But most shippers don't produce their own freight. They get it from somewhere, right? Which means they paid a certain price. They're getting a certain price. They got a certain price that they got it for under what they actually made on it, and that they can move it for so they can make more money. So they got a margin too. So they got room, just like I'm trying to, so they understand this type of negotiation. So they did the same exact kind of negotiation. So whatever price they throw out there at you, you know that you got a margin that you can add on top of that and let them know what your margin are, and then you work from there. If I start off at 35%, I may wind up with a 30% margin or 33% margin, or whatever the case may be. There is no real formula. You just have to know how shippers operate. That's how shippers operate. They operate on the same rules that you as a broker operate on, because they got the loads from somewhere. They got a margin. They got a margin that they've got, so they can give you more money on the margin that they're trying to give you to start off. Because everybody is going to put out there what they're the most that they're trying to make. Right? They're putting it out there with them making the most they're trying to make, because they know that you as a broker to help them move the freight, they're going to have to give up some of that margin so you can make money. So because you have to give up some of that margin so that the carrier can make more money. Everybody is operating on the same exact rules. There's no difference in the shippers to the brokers to the carriers. They're all using the same type of system, the same way to negotiate. But brokers nowadays have gotten lazy. They'd rather take it from the carrier than to do their job and negotiate the margin with the shipper. That's the problem. Okay, so here's the formula. No matter what that shipper, when you go and you say, Mr. Shipper, I see you got a bunch of loads. I'm a freight brokerage firm. We trying to move some freight. We can help you move freight. We got carriers, on the contract. We got this, we got that. I got all my credentials, my bond, my insurance. I got my references. We got money in the bank. We got this, and shippers. Okay, well, here's what we got. We got this freight right here is approximately $8 million worth of freight. The average load fee that we're putting out there is around $250, $275 per mile. Here are the numbers. So you take a look at the numbers. You see that those are averaging $250, $3, whatever case may be. Now you say to them, okay, how much margin will you give me on top of that? What's my margin? And if they say, well, what do you mean? They already know what you mean. But if they say, what do you mean? You basically say, look, this is what you're willing to give up. All right, now I've got to make money on top of that. Well, now normally we like to make 35% on this margin. So this $2,000, we need that. I need 35% on top of that for my margin, so I can negotiate with the carrier to move your freight. Okay, I can't quite do 35%. Okay, talk to me. Well, we can do 25%. Well, I got to have a little bit more than that. How about 34%? I can't do 34%. That's still too high. Okay, well, talk to me. See, now they've already said 25%. You came back with 34%. So now you know it's got to be higher than 25%. Well, shoot, we might be able to do 27%. Okay, let's call it 30% even, and then we have a deal. See, that's negotiating. That's not being lazy. That's not just copping out and saying, well, I'm gonna get my money from the carrier. That's how you negotiate. And shippers understand this. And especially when you're dealing with the person in charge, instead of dealing with some flunky who can't really make the decision anyway. So whatever you negotiate, they got to check with somebody else. That's why you get, when you join our platform, we give you access to the person that's in charge, because you are negotiating with the right person. And trust me, that person understands negotiating. So when you set up your brokerage firm, you want to set up where you have a team of salespeople that's all they do is negotiate with shippers. Their only job is to go out and bring in shippers. Okay? Because if that's all they're doing, trust me, they're going to get better and better and better at it the more they do it. And they're going to make so much money. Now, how much money are they going to make? How much money are they going to make? Let's go back down here to the calculator again. Exactly how much money are they going to make? Hold on, let me get rid of this right here. Go back over here. And then let me jump over here to the calculator again. All right, now, we've got that $1,900. Now, we negotiated with the shipper to make 33% on top of that, okay? So we take that right there. You got that 33%, our margin of 33% that we're making on top of that, right? So really, that's going to be plus 33%. It's going to equal 2533, okay? So that's what we're really working with, 2533, okay? Oh, shoot. Somebody mute your mic, please. Mute your mic. All right, thank you. All right. So you've got that 33% on top of that, which is $628. All right. So that's what you're working with. You're working with $628. Now, is that to say you can't, as a broker, you can't still make a little bit more money on that by taking a little bit off of the carrier side and adding that to the side of the money that you got from the shipper? Yes, legally you can do that. Why? Because you have a bond, you have insurance, you have authority to do so because you now own the freight. But don't get carried away with it and try to take the exact same amount that you got from the shipper. You're trying to get the same amount on the carrier side, because you can go back and say, okay, well, I'm going to price this load because I've got a total of $2,533.65. I'm in this load. $628.65 is what I've got in the pocket from the shipper. All right. I know I got that much money. If I stick with the 19, whatever it is I got for the, on my, the difference from my margin. See, this is how brokers make money, y'all. This is how you should be making money. So I've got that right there. Now, let's say I want to make a total of $750. How much more money do I need to take off of the other side to make that $750? Anybody? You're basically just going to take what? 628.65 minus 750, right? Right? Or 7 or 750 minus 628, 65. So you take 750 minus 628.65. So that means you need to drop that load $121 off of the carrier side, right? So here's what you're gonna do. Remember that 1905? You're gonna minus that by 121 bucks. Now you don't have to do that, but I'm gonna show you how this is gonna be advantageous to you by doing that. So you take that 1905 and you minus, what's that amount that we said that we was minusing them by? Does it matter? 100 and what?
121.35.
All right. Minus 121.35. 121.35. All right. So that's 1783. Right? Which is still a pretty decent load. A load that's going 700 miles, whatever the case may be, just paying 1783. That's still a pretty decent load, right? Divided by 700 miles run, it's still paying $2.50, more than $2.50 per mile. Does everybody see what we just did? Darren, do you see what we just did?
Yes.
Yep.
Okay. Do y'all understand it?
Yes.
Because what you're doing is you're basically putting yourself in position to negotiate more or to give the carrier more money when they ask for it. Okay? Because you own the freight now. But what most brokers do is they try to take that whole $700 and some odd dollars from the carrier side instead of getting most of it from the shipper side and then creating a little bit more margin or cushion of margin on the carrier side. That's the right thing to do. That's how you're supposed to do it. That's how it should be done. And how I figured this out, I went back when I started my brokerage, I went back and did my due diligence. I went back and looked at how brokers and shippers used to work when they first started out. Because back in the day, way back in the day, this is how it was done. But over the years, like everything else, you get lazy. Right? They take the path of least resistance. It's easier. What's that song is? The older Redding son? The older Redding son? It's easier. Okay. It's easier to take it from the carrier than it was to negotiate it with the shipper. And that's what most brokerage firms started doing. Right? They started taking it from the carrier instead of negotiating with the shipper, like they should be doing. Like they should be doing. Now, remember I told y'all I'm gonna show y'all how you're gonna make more money doing this, how the person who is the salesperson is gonna make a ton of money by doing it, by only getting paid 7.25% of your brokerage fee. Now let's say, so now we determined that the load now is gonna be, let's say roughly $2,400. Okay, let's say 2,400, not 2,500. Let's say we take a little bit from the carrier and most of it, and a whole bunch of it from the shipper. We get our margin most from the shipper. So let's make the load $2,400 instead of 2,500 and some odd and some change. Let's make it $2,400, even number. So the load is $2,400, right? Minus our cut is 33%, because that's what it comes out to be, right? 33%, all right, all together now. So minus that 33%. So that means I'm sorry. So that means, hold on, go back up. Hold on, I did something wrong. Y'all give me a second. So the load is $2,400.
That's right.
Yeah, the load is $2,400. No, Darren, it's not right. It's $2,400, and we got our margin on top, which was 600 and, because remember, make that $2,400. We took that from the carrier, but we still got our cushion from the shipper. Remember, because the shipper was willing to do 1,900 or something, and we added 33%, our cushion on top of that. So basically what we had was 1,900 and where's that number? 905 plus 33%, $628. But we added another, but we took another, 100, from the carrier side. Yeah, from the carrier side. So we got 25 on 33. So that's our total, But now let's cut it back to 2,400 or whatever the case may be, and say we only take a little bit from the carrier side. So yeah, Darian, you're right. So we're gonna wind up with $792 on our brokerage fee, right? We're gonna wind up with $792 on our brokerage fee. Okay, $792. That's our brokerage fee. That's our 33%. All right. Most of it we got from the shipper. A little bit of it we got from what? The carrier, right? We got $600 and some odd dollars from the shipper and $100 and some odd dollars from the carrier side. So $792 altogether. Now the person that got that contract with the shipper, right? The person that went out and got us that contract, that salesperson that got that contract, they're getting paid 7.25% of that $792, because our brokerage fee is 33%. They're getting paid 7.25% of the 33%. Y'all see how that works? So that minus 7.25%. So that person's gonna make $57.42 on that load. But they send 150 loads down because they get 150 loads per day. So they got 150 loads that are in their account. Remember we said that you should be able to book at a bare minimum of 10% of that 150 loads, right there?
Right.
So that's 15 loads per day that your booking agents, your certified broker agent should be booking with the carriers that they are going out and signing up the carriers to your brokerage firm to run your loads. So out of the loads that the salesperson is getting and adding them to our portfolio, our inventory, out of that inventory, your booking agents should be booking at least 10% of those loads per day with the carriers, either by putting them on load boards or by getting them from carriers or signing up carriers or whatever the case may be. They should be able to book at least 10% of those loads, 15 loads per day. Does that sound reasonable? Does that sound reasonable and fairly easy, right there?
Mm-hmm.
All right. So that means, because remember, that salesperson is getting paid residual. So now every time one of their loads get booked, and we've already determined that it should be able to book at least 10% of them, that's 15 loads a day. That's $57.42 on average times 15. Hold up, where we at? 57.42.
It should be 861.
57, yeah, 42 times, and you're right there, times 15, but I gotta show everybody. 861 and 30 cents. $861.30 per day times 5 days a week, because they're getting their loads every day. That's 4,306 loads per $6 per week. That sales agent is gonna make residual. They don't have to do anything else from that account. They don't have to call no carriers. They don't have to put nothing on the load boards. They don't have to try and book no freight. They just got the loads or got the contract from the shipper. They got us contracted with that shipper. Now, if you want to know what it is per year, times 52 weeks in a year, and this is just from one account. From one account, that sales agent is going to make $223,938. Do y'all see that? And that's just from one account. One little small account, not a medium-sized account, not a big account. One account with a small lumber company that's providing them with 150 loads a day, and they negotiated a 33% margin on the load that they're getting. When I tell y'all, when you set this up right and you train your people to to just concentrate. You got one set of people who are professionals. Now, do you think you can attract some serious sales professionals? People out there who have been selling their whole lives, who are good at what they do, and they got a track record of high dollar sales. Do you think you can attract them by showing them this type of commission structure? Anybody? How hard do you think it is to attract good people who are skilled at selling when you show them that from one little small measly account, lumber account, they have a possibility of earning $223,000 per year from one account. And all they had to do to work was just once, get the account set up. If you put that job out there and said, I'm hiring someone to do this job, and your earning potential from one account is $200,000+ a year. And all you got to do is lend the account. Would you take that job, Darren?
Definitely. I'm in the process of one right now.
Look, I heard what he said. He's in the process of one right now. Look, y'all, look. Now, I told y'all I was going to show you how everybody makes money in this. Now, we've seen how the sales executive can make money from this structure. We've seen how the sales executive can make money from this structure. Now let's go and take a look at how the booking agents can make money from this structure. Because this structure right here is just, all this is residual now after they set the account up. All they got to do, every now and then call the company president or vice president or whoever he set the account up with and just make sure everything's all right. Call, and check on the truck and check with the freight broker agents to make sure that they're booking at least 10% of the loads, every day or every week or whatever case it be. They'll make sure that they're, booking the loads and that the carriers are delivering the loads on time. All you're doing now is you're just managing, right? Just managing. If something happens, a carrier breaks down or gets in an accident and a load gets damaged or lost, whatever, you may have to take a flight, to wherever, their corporate office is, to kind of smooth things over with, the shippers people, ain't nothing wrong with that, right? Because you're making so much money from that account, you may even decide that you want to, buy lunch for the people at the distribution plant, once a week. You can afford it, right there, every Friday. Lunch is on, me, on your company.
Before you move forward, Calvin, I have a question for you.
Yeah.
Do you know how you would go out and negotiate rate with shippers based on the season and location?
Yeah, all right. Because look, for one thing, you really don't have to change your negotiation tactic because the shippers, because when you call them, you're already going to be in whatever season you're in, right? Right. And the shipper's going to give you prices based on that, right?
Okay.
So they're already doing that for you. They're going to give you what their numbers are based on, how freight is moving, season. That's something you don't have to worry about. They already have that. You're still going to stick to your same 33% margin or 35% margin to start off your negotiation. Okay. I mean, you can go up to 40%, but I wouldn't go that high because then you might, the shipper might look and say, okay, you're just being funny now. Let's be reasonable. But 35%, that's good. Okay, to start your negotiations off, because you're gonna end up somewhere in that 30% range. Gotcha. 27% to 33% is where you're gonna wind up. And how do you know this? And how do you know this? Because if you look at, let's say, companies like Landstar, right? Who they're both a brokerage firm and a trucking company, right? Right? When you sign on to companies like Landstar and places like that, what's the average that they're paying their carriers to move freight? 27 and a third 27 on the 3%. Right? Anywhere from that 27 to 30% up to what? That 30 to 35%. That's their fee. You know, I'm sorry, 73 and a third percent up to 80, down to 65%, right? That's what they're paying their carriers, right? I'm anywhere from 65% of the load fee up to 73 and what? 3%. Right there? That's what they're paying. So if they're paying that, what margin are they keeping? Somewhere between that 35% and that what? 27 and a third percent. Right in between it, that 33%. If you want to know, that's how real brokerage firms do it. Landstar is very good at it because that's how they negotiate. They don't do it like, I'm not gonna call those names, but some of them begin with a T. So they don't do what some of these other brokerage firms do, and they take it from the carrier. That's why Landstar has their own in-house carrier. They don't have to go out to find trucks to run their load. Why? Because they're set up kind of like this to where they negotiate on the shipper side to get that 33 and a third percent or 35% or whatever it is they get it on their margin. Then they pay their carriers anywhere from that 65% of the load fee up to that 75% of the load fee or 73 and a third percent of the load fee. Okay, if you all are wondering, is anybody doing this like this? Well, there's your evidence. There's your proof that it's being done, and it's being done rather successfully because everybody knows Landstar is a beast, right? Everybody knows that. Everybody knows that Landstar is an absolute monster. And that's how they did it and structured their system like that. All right. How are the carriers going to make money? Not the carriers. How are the booking agents or the freight broker agents going to make their money? Now, you've already, as a company, you've given up so far just what? 7.25% of your load fee. That's all you've given up, right? 7.25% of your load fee, and your shipping and your sales agent off of one account is gonna average somewhere between $250,000 a year on one small measly account. If they go out and land another account, oh my God, that's just more money on top of more money on top of more money. Can you imagine the sales agent got 4 or 5 accounts, just 4 or 5 small accounts? They're knocking out $1 million a year in residuals. Now, let me show you how the other side makes money, okay? Let's go to the other side. Now, remember, on the other side of this, y'all give me a second. On the other side of this, you've got your freight broker agents. Their only job is to go out and find carriers and sign them up to your broker carrier agreement. These people up here, their job is to sign up shippers to your broker shipper agreement. Okay? You got your broker shipper contract, you got your carrier contract. Okay? 2 separate sales teams. Now, these people down here, you're gonna pay them 2 ways that they're gonna get paid. For the loads that they personally, for the carriers that they personally sign on, that they sign to the agreement, the carrier that they bring into your company, the carrier that they send out, and that carrier signs a broker carrier agreement with facilitated by that person. When those carriers, when they book loads directly with the carriers that they signed up, they're going to get paid 50% of your broker's fee. So if your broker's fee is 33%, they're going to get half of that. All right? Also, if another broker agent books a load on one of the trucks that they signed up, which means they didn't book it, but another broker agent in the company books a load on one of the trucks that they personally signed up, they're going to get 25% of that load fee. And that broker that booked is going to get 25%. So they're going to split that because they're doing, that's kind of like a co-broker deal within the company. Now, that's not double broken because you're both part of the same company. Now, if they did that outside of the company, that's double broken, which is what? Illegal. But because they're in the same company, that's not double broken. That is a true co-broker deal. I know a lot of brokers out there, companies out there, brokers out there will say, well, They'll go to get with a separate whole brokerage firm and say, let's co-broker. Y'all know that shit's illegal. They just call it a co-broker, but co-brokering is only when you are within the same company. You got two broker agents working for the same company. They're working a deal together, and then you get to split the commission. You cannot do a broker deal without someone outside of the company, because now you got two separate companies getting paid on the same load and being brokered by two separate brokers. And the shipper didn't sign up for that. The shipper only signed a contract with you. The shipper didn't sign a contract with that other broker you're letting broker that load. That's double brokering. But those, in case you all want to know what double brokering is. All right. Let's check my YouTube channel real quick to see what we got over here. Any more questions over here? All right. Dad Vader says, thanks for the breakdown. Really helpful. That's our job. That's what we do. HHC Logistics, independent contractor says RBBS for life. Hey, brother, thank you. I appreciate the love. All right. So let's go back over here and let's look at this money again. All right. So now what we got is this. We got this set up down here where they're going to get paid 50% of the load fee. 50% of the brokerage fee when they book the carrier that they signed up on a load. When another broker inside of our firm or inside your firm books a load on one of their carriers that they sign up, they're going to get 50%. I mean, they're going to get half of that. It's going to be 25%, 25%. So now you as a brokerage firm, you're only giving up 57.25% of your brokerage fee to run your operation. Now, let's look at what this group down here is going to make on average. Now, let's just say out of them 150 loads that sales agent got and send down, let's just say you as a freight broker agent, you go out and you sign up, 2 or 3 carriers, whatever the case may be. And let's just say you only book one, just one, not 2, not 3, not 4, not 5, but just one of those loads per day. Just one measly load. Not 3 a day, not 4 a day, but just one. Just one. Okay, just one. All right, just one. Y'all know I like to sing. I can't sing, but I like to sing. Okay, all right, just one. They're gonna book. Let's say you just book just one load. Now we've already determined that the load that's being booked is paying what? The brokerage firm what? $792, right there? Right?
Yes.
$792 on average what the load is booking. Minus 50%, because that's what you're gonna make as the broker agent if you book one of them loads. $396. So that's $396 that you're on the load fee. That's your cut. $396 if you book just one of them loads. So you got that $396 times 5 days a week. You're booking one load a day. Just one load a day. You got yourself 3 or 4 carriers, sign up, or whatever the case may be, and you're booking one load a day. Right? That's $1,980 per week times 52 weeks. That's $102,000, basically $103,000 right there, just on booking one measly doggone load per day, y'all. Anybody think that's impossible? I think that's very, very doable to book one load a day from 150 loads that you got access to, and them 150 loads they're paying over $2.50 per mile. Anybody? Is that doable?
Yes, it's very doable, Calvin.
Yes, that's doable. Come on, man. You can do that in your sleep. Get up at 6 a.m. You call it, hey man, I got a load that's paying $250. Okay, you want it? Yeah, man, all right, I'm going back to sleep. Shit. That's it. And they make $102, $103,000 per year. Now, let's look at the residual side of that, because remember, they get paid residual every time their carrier that they sign up runs a load. Now, if their carrier runs a load from another, if another carrier or another broker books a load with their carrier, what do they get paid? Anybody? What do they get paid? 25% of what? The broker's fee. Because they now split that with the carrier who booked the load. With the broker that booked the load. And at the same time, the salesperson that moved that load down there is still getting their what? 7.25%. All right. So now, because if another broker, let's say another broker or other brokers within the firm are booking at least one load, on their carrier. All right. So that means in residuals, if they're booking a load for at least one of their carriers per day, okay, let's just say you got stuff, signing stuff up 5 or 6 carriers. But let's say during the course of the week, at least one of your other carriers per day is being booked by an outside broker, within your firm, being booked by another broker within your firm. All right. You got 3 carriers that you're booking every day or whatever the case may be, or 1 carrier you're booking every day, and you got 5 carriers signed on or 6 carriers signed on, and sometime during that week, you got at least one of your other carriers being booked every day by somebody else. Y'all think that's feasible? Y'all think that's possible? Especially if you got a bunch of loads coming down, and if those people the other brokers don't have as many carriers as you have, or their carrier is not in the area, but some of your carriers are in the area, there's going to be a good chance that you're going to have some of your carriers being booked by other brokers within the firm, right? Right? And when that happens, that means that's going to be divided by 2, and the fee is, and if you're doing that once a day, if that's happening at least once a day with one of your other carriers, it doesn't have to be the same carrier, but let's say one of your carriers every day is being booked by another carrier, that's an extra $51,480 on top of your $102,000, on top of your $102,960. So $154,000 a year. Is that good money for a freight broker agent? Booking 1 load per day for his own carriers, and then outside, and then his residual is basically $52,000 a year. So he's got residuals of $52,000 a year, and from his own efforts, he's doing a little over $100,000. Y'all see how that works? So now you got 2 positions within your firm. Everybody's making over $100,000 a year. 100, 150, 200, 200, $300,000 a year. Now, the more carriers you sign on this side right here, the more your income is going to go up. So now you have more carriers that you can book freight from, and more carriers that people within the firm can book on your carriers too. Because when you sign on a carrier, that is your carrier network that you are signed on. Just like the salesperson, when they sign an account, that's their account. When you bring in a carrier, you're adding that carrier to your carrier network within the company. Now, I've shown y'all how the salespeople can make money and how the freight broker agents can make money, okay? Everybody agrees that everybody right now is making decent money, right? Right?
All right.
Let's go over and take a look on my YouTube channel. Kwame Smith said he got it. All right, good. So everybody agrees right now that everybody is making good money. Now, but what about the main person? You as the broker, the owner of the company, the firm. Is it making money? Is the firm making money? Well, let's find out. Because let's take a look at this. Let's see if the firm can make money in this scenario. Oh shoot, I gotta move some of this stuff out the way. I'm trying to get my. There we go. Let's see if the firm can make money in this scenario. All right. Let's go back to the same 792. Right? 792. Right? We got the same 792, right, everybody? The same 792. Right? Because that's what we determined that the average load is going to pay to the brokerage firm on your 33% margin. Everybody still agree with that, right? We have the same 792. All right. So 792 is what your firm is making on the average load. But you're going to pay out, we've already determined you're going to pay out what? 57.25%, right? On average. Because you got your salesperson making 7.25%. You got your broker agents making 50%. 57.25%. Even if your broker agent down there splits the deal, it's 25-25, which still becomes 50%. It's still 57.25%. That's what you're paying out. 57.25%. So that matters 57.25%. It's going to leave you with 400. I'm sorry, equals. It's going to leave you with $338 and no, I take that back. Minus 50, yeah. It's going to leave you with $338.58. Right there, yeah. That's what it's going to leave you with. $338.58 per load booked. Right? We've already said that out of 150 loads, if your company can book just what? 10% of those loads every day, right? Right? Which is going to be 15 loads. Right, everybody? We're good on that. So that times 338.58. I think I'm doing this wrong. Yeah, that's right. That's $5,078.70 per day. That's after you've paid your people. Because remember, you paid your people out 57.25%. Does everybody see that? So your firm on just 15 load on from one measly account, because we're still talking about just one account here, y'all. We're still just talking about one doggone account. How everybody can eat off of one account. Not one big account, not one medium-sized account, one small little measly lumber company account that sends you 150 loads per day. And you're only booking 10% of them. See, for people out here to say that they can't make money being a freight broker, or they're having trouble making money because they're doing monkey see, monkey do. They're trying to do what everybody else is doing. That's why everybody ain't making no real money. In order to make money, you got to follow the example of those who are making money, like Landstar, right? Because when I started, I dug into and looking at the people who were making money, and I went back and looked at the history of this industry and see how they made money back in the beginning. And trust me, they was making some serious doggone money. How do you think these companies like what's these big brokerage firms back in the day? Oh shoot, C.H. Robinson. Y'all remember them? Does anybody remember C.H. Robinson? Darren, do you remember C.H. Robinson?
Yep.
They were, oh, Jesus Christ.
Hey, CH, cheap and heavy.
Yeah, cheap and but they were killing it, right? They were killing it.
Yep.
Because this is how they set up. They had a team of salespeople. They had a team of people booking freight. And they were killing it. You gotta, I'm at a loss of words. All right, let's go on. So you got $5,078 per day you're making off of one measly little count, booking 15 loads a day from 150 loads being sent to you each day. Okay, that times 52. Oh shoot, I take that back. That times 5 days a week. Anybody here think that their firm cannot live off of $25,000 a week? Is there anybody here that thinks that that's not a good amount of money for a brokerage firm after paying your people? times 52 weeks in a year? Therein lies how you become a successful brokerage firm, by setting your company up under the right structure. Okay, that's how you do it. That's how you. This is how you sell. If you want to make money, I know it sounds a little complicated. Yes, it does require a little bit more planning, you know, in putting your structure together and putting your ads out there on on Indeed and everything. There, you remember when we first started out back in 2000, was it 16 or 17? And I had all them ads on Indeed in every state, and we had gotten up to like 70 brokers and like 100, like in 60 some sales agents.
Yeah.
Do y'all remember that back then? When we had everybody had toll-free numbers on with extensions. We had over 100 and some people within our firm with toll-free extensions. Do y'all remember that?
I remember, Calvin.
You can attract people. You can attract people with this structure. First of all, the first thing you got to do is you got to put your structure together. Then you have to put out your advertisement and show them how they're going to be paid. Nobody within our firm was being paid salaries. It was all commission, but it was on this structure. It was on this structure. Trust me when I tell you, this trilogy type structure, okay? This trilogy type structure. Let me go down here. I'm duplicating my whatchamacallit here so much. I gotta get off of it. This trilogy type structure is the key to scaling your firm and scaling your business. We talk about scale. Y'all hear people talk about scaling your business all the time. Okay, what's easier? What's easier, to go out and try and build your business up by yourself, or to create two separate sales, or bringing in one salesperson, one person to do all the work, and trying to be good at both selling carriers and selling the shippers? No, you're giving them twice as much work, twice as much headache. They got to become an expertise at two things instead of just having them to concentrate on one thing. So you go out and you look for qualified, monster salespeople. And the way you attract monster salespeople is to give them a monster pay plan. And this pay plan is a monster pay plan. One account, one measly little account, and they can earn over $200,000 a year off of one account and doing the job just one time, and that's all residual. Come down here, right? Get signed up, get the firm signed up with 4 or 5 carriers. That's not hard to do. Especially if the carrier is being paid how much money, y'all? On average, what? 73 1/3% of the load fee? Because Landstar signing up carriers every day. They got one of the largest carrier fleets out there of owner operators, and they're paying on their dry vans is getting like what? 65% of the load fee, right there. Their flatbed is getting about 69 to 70%, and their reefers are getting up to towards that 73 1/3% or 75%. So you got people up here making money. You got people down here making money. And your company is making money. And all your company is doing what? Paperwork, right? Payroll and process. Remember back when we were doing that, Darren, when we would do all y'all's paperwork, we do the invoicing for your carriers and all. Back when we were a brokerage firm, that's what this is. You as a company, all you're doing is doing the paperwork. They're bringing in the shippers. They're booking the loads and signing on the carriers. You processing the paperwork. And everything funnels right back to where? Look at that. Bam, 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 bam. That's the trilogy system. You got 3 doing the work of 1 and getting paid more than everybody else. Does that work for y'all? It works for me. All right, questions, real quick. Questions, because there is the answer to what comes first, chicken or the egg? What comes first, shipper or the broker? Well, I mean, shipper or the carrier? Well, both. That's your answer. You bring in both of them at the same time. Because if you got this type of structure, these people down here are getting carriers, while these people out here are doing what? Getting shippers. These people down here are providing these people up here with the fuel and the ammo to go to the shippers and say, hey, we've got X number of carriers signed on. Why? Because they're still adding carriers. And we have a group, we have a sales team that is dedicated to just going out and bringing in carriers. These carriers are going to be the ones that's going to run your loads. You got people out here that's telling the carrier, we got a team of salespeople, all they're doing is bringing in shippers. We got an X number of shippers that we brought in already, and we have X number of loads that get sent to us every single day, like clockwork, and those loads are paying more than $2.50 per mile. Now, when you got these two teams working off each other, supplying each other with the ammo, oh, you winning the war, baby. You winning the war. But you can't win the war when you got one soldier trying to fight on both fronts. Let's go to our YouTube channel, see what we got going on over here on YouTube. All right, Mr. Glock says, is the RBBS franchise open in Chicago? The RBBS franchise open in the way you want to open it at. Okay, it's an online thing. You can, if you go to our website at mydispatcher.org and you go over to our booking site, let me show you here. Oh, let's go to home. Let's go to home. If you go to our main website at mydispatcher.org, okay? Let me wait for it to pull up. If you go to our main site at mydispatcher.org and you scroll down, you see a video right there in the middle of the page. All you got to do is click on where it says, underneath this video, where it says to enroll, click here. You click that, and that's going to take you over to our enrollment site. And if you scroll through the enrollment, the options there, you'll see the franchise. Okay, there are two ways you can get a franchise. A franchise cost is $4,999.95. That's what the franchise cost is right there. Now, if you want to buy the franchise out, just buy it. That's what's going to cost you, $4,999.95. No interest whatsoever. If you don't have that kind of money, just buy a franchise. You're going to go with the franchise 10% down and finance it. You're going to put down $499.95, and then you finance it for 1, 2, or 3 years. We have 1, 2, or 3 year financing. Okay. Now, interest is accrued on that, so you're going to pay a little bit more on the interest, for than the $4,995 because you have the financing options here. Okay, with the 10% down. But what do you get with the franchise? The following franchise payouts are based on member referrals and enrollments processed by the franchise. Darren, you got a check yesterday, didn't you? Darren, I think he's still on. I know I processed a check for Darren and for Mr. Kwame yesterday for people that they signed up to our platform. But here is the franchise payout. 50% of the $249.95 to $349.95 individual enrollments. The $249 is for veterans. The $349 is for everybody else. So when you sign someone up to our platform, you get 50% of that fee. You also get 50% of the monthly subscription fee. The veterans monthly subscription fee is $29.95 per month, and the regular enrollment is $39.95 per month. There is tax on that, but you don't get paid on the tax. You get paid half of that $39.95 or half of that $29.95 each and every month that they pay their monthly subscription. So that's how you create your residual. So you get paid on the upfront, half of the lump sum of the enrollment fee, and then you get your residual every month after that on the monthly payments when the members make the monthly subscription fee. You also get 50% of the $699.95 up to $2,499.95 on the corporate enrollments. We have 3 corporate enrollments. We have corporate enrollment 1.0, 2.0, and corporate enrollment unlimited, where we actually train your people. And the corporate enrollment 1.0 allows you to enroll yourself and an additional 10 employees for $699.95 on your enrollment fee and $99.95 per month. And it goes all the way up to the corporate enrollment unlimited, when you get an unlimited number of employees that you can add for the enrollment fee of $2,499.95, and it's going to be $299.95 per month. Now, you also get half of the monthly subscription fee of the corporate enrollments, from $99.95 per month up to $299.95 per month on your monthly subscription. You get half of that. You also get 50% if someone comes in and pays out a franchise. You know, if they get a franchise and they pay it out $4,995, guess what? You get half of that. If they finance it, you get half of the 10% down, and you get half of the monthly payments that they're financing, okay, until they finish that paid off. All right. We also do private consultation. Darren is one of our private consultants. Ms. Larissa Pompey is one of our private consultants. Kwame Smith is one of our private consultants. They get paid $75 per hour when they do private consultation. We charge $100 per hour, but when you become a private consultant, you're going to get 75% of the consulting fee. Okay, so out of that $100 per hour, you're getting $75 per hour. Okay, on the private consultation. Okay, now in order to be a private consultant, I got to know you know what you're doing. So I usually will have a short little, Zoom interview with you, and you tell me about your experience in the trucking industry, or what your expertise is and what your wealth of knowledge is. And then that is going to be on your profile on your private consultant on our private consultation page. Okay. And you can set your hours however you want to. I only do private consultations Monday, Tuesdays, and Wednesdays from 10 a.m. until 4 p.m. I don't do anything after that. Larissa Pompey, I think she does some stuff late up into the evenings, because she works a regular job, and then she does her private consultation usually after the regular workday hours. Darren does private consultations on the weekends and during the week. I think he does stuff like on the weekends too. Kwame Smith, I'm not sure what his hours are, but he does his and stuff like that too. Okay, so there it is. What we do, that's the franchise. Okay, that's the franchise, and that's how we pay out. And Darren is doing extremely well with the franchise. He is building his residual. He is, I think I just cut him a check on yesterday. Darren, you did receive your invoice, right? Or your payment receipt, right?
Yeah, I did receive an email. I didn't check it as if, but I know it came from you.
Okay. All right. Well, I sent one out to Darren yesterday, and I sent one out to Kwame. Now, on getting paid, you get paid at the end of each week on your enrollments. So if you enroll someone, you get paid on that at the end of the week. At the end of each month is when you get your residual checks. So your residuals are paid monthly. Your enrollment commissions are paid weekly. Okay. All right. So that's how we do that. Check. Hope I got that out for you. Dr. Glock. So hopefully you got that. But there you go. Hey, look, everybody. Look, this industry is a great industry. It really is. But over the years, a lot of people have taken shortcuts with this industry. And the shortcuts that they have taken, especially on the brokerage side, has led to the carriers making less and less money. And I just showed y'all why that happened. I just showed y'all how that happened. Because you got a lot of new brokers, people who are popping up in the they're popping up in the business, and they really don't know. They really have not been shown or trained the right way to do this. They jump into it, and they do what's called monkey see, monkey do. They try to do, they go out there and they hear people say, do this, and everybody's taking shortcuts and taking money from the carrier, taking money from the owner operator. Okay, they're taking more and more money from the owner operator. That's why owner operators are becoming more and more disenfranchised and dissatisfied with brokers, because they feel like brokers are in their pocket, and they are, when that's never the way it was supposed to be. A little bit, yes, because everybody has to pay a fair share. But brokers the way it was set up, I'm in the beginning, it was set up for you to make your money from the shipper. If you read the statute, that's the way it's written in the statute. That is written in the statute, that's how it should be done. But brokers got lazy, and instead of spending the time to negotiate with the shippers, they just immediately took it from the carrier side. They just take what the shipper was putting out there, and so they took the path of least resistance because they figured they can sign on more shippers by doing that way. Just take what the shipper's giving. Don't even try to get your margin, which is where you should be making your money from. The majority of your money should come from the margin of the shipper. Yes, you're supposed to make a little bit of money from the carrier, but not all of the, not 100% of your margin should not be coming from the carrier. That whole 33% should not be coming from the carrier. Okay? If anything, you should only be getting at 10, 12% coming from the carrier, and the rest should be coming from the shipper. That's where you make your money. Because you got your margin from your shipper, because that's your safety net. That allows you, that the carrier comes and, well, okay, I need a little bit more of that. Then you can give back, that little bit more. You can give back some back to the carrier or back to the owner operator and still make your money from, make all your money, make most of your money from the shipper. And even if you have to dig into your shipper money a little bit, some is better than none as a broker. Look, I hope you all got some good training, or some good, I hope y'all got a clear and good understanding of how this works better when you do it this way. Okay. Now, this video is only going to be on YouTube because it's broadcast live on YouTube. It's only going to be on YouTube through the weekend, because starting Monday, you would not be able to access our videos on YouTube. I know in the past we have given away all 140,000 plus hours of video on YouTube. Well, that ends on Monday. On Monday, the only video that you're going to have access to on YouTube is going to be our daily load board report. Okay, all of our operational training videos, broker training, dispatch training, all the other stuff, all the past stuff is going to be moved to a membership. In other words, you got to become a member in order to view those videos, have access to those videos, and we're going to have levels of membership. Okay, it goes anywhere from I think 99 cents per month up to $99 per month. We have a 99 cent per month membership that gets you, like, when you send us a message or something, or you comment or something, you get an immediate reply from us, something like that. Then we got I think the $9.99 per month, which means you get first look at our videos as we're doing them. So you get to watch them live as we're doing them, but you won't have access to them after that. Now, the second level, I think, is $29.99, where you then get access to our videos, our 140,000 hours of videos, all our videos, but you can go back and you can watch all of them. You get access to all the other stuff that we talked about before that. Being able to being on the live video, see our videos first. You'll be able to access 140,000 videos that we recorded in the past and in the future, things that we're doing in the future. Then when you bump up to a $49.99 per month, where you actually get access to our platform, our network. Okay, without having to pay an enrollment fee, but you're gonna pay $49.95 per month. That's slightly higher than the people who pay the enrollment fee and pay the monthly subscription fee. So by going through our YouTube membership, you'll be able to get access to our network, all of our training, our live training, our 140,000 hours of video, plus our load boards, access to 100 load boards, access to 19 million shippers, access to our logistics library. It has every word, phrase, and term ever used in trucking, access to our shippers, 19 million plus shippers. Everything that our members have access to, you will have access to. And then after that, we have the super member, which is $99.99 per month, where you get access to all the stuff, our network, our platform, everything. And you also get 3 hours per month of private consultation. That's included with that $99.95 per month. That's a $300 value by itself. because we charge what, $100 per hour. And you're not getting 3 hours of private consultation with just anybody. That's with me. Okay. Because after that, I would no longer be doing private consultations for a fee. I'm going to leave that to all of you all who have franchises, Darren, Larissa, Quarbe, and everybody else who wants to become a private consultant with our firm. I'm only going to be doing private consultation for our $99 per month members. Right? And they get 3 hours per month for free with their $99 per month membership. All right. That's our new structure. That's our new setup. I hope y'all learned something today. I hope y'all got, we left y'all last week with that cliffhanger, and I hope it was worth it. I hope that satisfied everybody. I hope everybody is excited about how to really set up your brokerage firm. Okay, how to really set up your how to set up your brokerage firm. Next week, we're going to talk about negotiating with shippers. Okay, we're going to talk about negotiating with shippers and negotiating with carriers, and we're going to talk about your shipper and carrier contract and your broker and carrier and your broker and shipper contract. We're going to show you all our onboarding page, our onboarding site, and show you all how you should be setting up your onboarding to onboard shippers and to onboard brokers. Look, I hope y'all had a great time. I hope y'all enjoyed this Freight Brokers Hour. I know we ran over by almost an hour. we call it the Freight Brokers Hour, but sometimes we'll go into almost 2 hours sometimes. But I hope y'all enjoyed it. I did, as always. I hope y'all like our new platform structure and how we're doing things. I love it, and I think you all are going to get a lot out of it by having the dedicated freight broker training and having the dedicated dispatch training. They're and providing equal training for both of you all, because this industry needs both brokers and dispatchers. Don't make no mistake about it. You all can't survive in this industry without each other. Okay, that's just the way it is. So get used to it. And I want to show you all, as new brokers coming in, how you can make money without taking so much money out of the owner operator's pocket. Okay, shippers have got plenty of money. That's how it was meant, to negotiate with them on your margins, not take money from the owner operators. With that being said, I love all of y'all. I thank you all so much, always, and I appreciate y'all. And I look forward to seeing y'all again next week on the Brokers Hour, next Saturday, 10:15 a.m. And don't forget, Monday through Fridays, 6 a.m. to 7 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, we have what? The Load Board Report. A look at what's going on in your neighborhood when it comes to load availability. Thanks, everybody. This has been Calvin with the RBBS District Learning Center and the National Dispatcher Network, and I bid y'all a great weekend. Bye, everyone.